It'll take me a little bit to get used to this thing because I'm old. And I do remember buying these scooters for my kids when they had like a rollerblade wheel on it. But at that point, a piece of pea stone would kill you, right? So having a large gritty tire on it, I see, is very advantageous.
Things are all tidied up, good to go. We have a little bit of time. We just uploaded our new video today about taking this thing out for the break-in rip with the boys. That was awesome. NASA ATVs along for the rip, man. That was great. Our annual Lingham Lake ride was a bash as usual. After 10 years of making YouTube videos, we get hit up all the time. Do you want to review our products? And if I've got a use for it and I think it's fun,
it'd be kind of cool for getting around the mud park after one's intoxicated and they pulled your keys with your four-wheeler. Kind of makes sense to me. So yeah, ship it.
Then sometimes I'll say yes. Power tools, e-bikes. Well, this time is something similar, but a little bit different. The isinwheel, and this is their S10 MAX folding electric scooter. I thought to myself at first, what good is it, right? I'm obviously no spry chicken anymore, being in my mid-30s. Then occurred to me, actually quite quickly, kind of like seeing Cletus and the boys running around their compound on things like this, that, you know, a couple of the mud parks, you're not allowed to use anything gas-powered after dark. And, you know, people camp all over the place, guys are spread out, and you like to visit, so something like this would be absolute ideal for running around the park. But I think there are more practical uses for it, and we'll talk about why I believe that. Some of the specs on this thing, features and specs. We got dual mechanical brakes here. It's also got dual suspension. You can see it's got some type of swing arm design up front. It's got a large tire on it. I do believe those are 10-inch. We have a 54-volt 15 amp hour battery powering this thing with a 1,000-watt hub motor, which is kind of crazy because that's larger than the setup that I have on my bicycle. It boasts a range of around 40 miles. However, I did take this already for a range test by taking it on my daily work commute, which is to the furthest end of the city and back, and that is around 20 miles. The terrain I was on was extremely hilly and windy, right? Going downtown, you got a lot of downhill, but coming back, you're pretty well uphill the whole way, and with the headwind, it kind of did not play to our favor. It got me there and back, so you could commute on this thing. Some other neat little features about it, they've given you this little rear kick plate for your heel. I think some riders who want to feel like they're a little more aggressive or take more sporty action on it could utilize that. However, I found both feet planted on the board to be most comfortable for me. And then they have this nifty little kickstand over here. Also, I thought that was pretty cool. But what's really neat is the signal light features. That's something that actually surpassed any of the bicycles we've tried in the past as far as safety, right? So that's a really good option. Got yourself a bell, like I said, dual brakes. 3 different riding modes, basically. Well, 4 if you count your walking mode. So you've got a walking mode, an eco mode, race mode, and then sport mode. And they all take you through the increments. Top speed, 28 miles an hour, 45 kilometers per hour. Pretty standard for any of the e-bikes, but not standard for a scooter, I don't believe. This battery is not removable. Charging port over here on the bottom of the deck. I don't know if you guys can see that. If I tilt the camera a little bit, yeah, you can see that here. We could show you how the folding, it's a double working mechanism. You got to pull up on it first and then unclamp it, and then you can take down your steering post. So very simple, but effective. And yeah, we'll give it a test run. Everything is very simple to operate on this thing as far as your controls. It reminds me of an Apple product in that manner because there's only one button, right? So you can just hold it on to power the machine, just like so, and then everything's going to be in succession or series of taps to the button. So if we do a quick tap, that's going to turn our headlight on, right? So we'll come around here, and as you guys can see there, I think you got a shot of that headlight on. And then if you give it a double tap, we are going to change through our power modes, right? So right there we have trip, which is walking, basically shows you a little guy over here walking. Sorry, that trip is the trip meter, obviously. The walking indicator's gone away, and we're into eco. We'll double tap again. That takes us to race. We'll double tap again, and that takes us to sport. So if we do a triple tap, it's going to turn us from miles per hour to kilometers, and kilometers to miles per hour, as we just achieved there. We can leave it there. And if we do a 4 tap, it enables push setting. Now that, with the throttle, will get you started. But if you're from a complete halt, nothing, right?
So what it's doing is it's taking the load out of the battery. So if you use that setting, it's going to get you more economic value out of it, because that's where it's going to take most of the load. So it's a push start. Once you're moving, she'll kick in. That's pretty nifty.
And then there was 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that basically disengages. What this one has as a feature is cruise control. So when you pin this throttle for any more than what, I'd say 6 seconds or so, then it locks you into that speed and you're off, right? Unless you're in the full power mode, the moment it kicks on, even if you're not at full speed, it's going to take you to full speed and stay there. Hopefully that was understandable for you guys. And that's basically it. That's all the operations. There is a compatible app that you can pair your phone up, change some of the settings, right, that we just basically went through. So yeah, very cool. It is very powerful. It dealt with some very large hills, but yeah, we'll take it out for a little test spin now. I'll let you guys know what we think of it on the trail. All right, bear with me 1 minute.
Off we go. We're gonna just get right to it. Away we go. Now they like to advertise these things as off-road, on and off-road rather, more so, but I have yet to try anything e-bike wise or scooter wise. These guys actually specialize in skateboard as well. This is what I would say they mean by off-road. Well, not the majority of it, but some stone dust. This is my classification for e-bikes and scooters when it comes to off-road. Yeah, this is perfectly acceptable. However, this is not what I believe they had in mind when they say on or off-road. Not probably quite. That's a cool little footage coming through though. Pretty neat little spot. And it definitely handles well. You can actually feel that suspension working, which is crazy, because I don't think it moves too much. We'll see with that low mounted camera I got back there. She's a little ripper though. When it comes to all these e-bikes and toys, none of them get the range that they specify. That would be under the best conditions possible on the most economic settings available to you with the device, right? So don't quote me because I never tried it, because that would just be boring. And I like to have fun. So we're starting to get a little drizzle. It's been raining for 2 weeks straight. We were fortunate enough to get a bit of a break of it in the ride the other day because we said the hell with it. But had the scooter sitting there for almost 2 weeks now, waiting for a decent day. This seemed to be nice, and then look at this, clouded up and wants to rain again on us. Unbelievable. Handling these rocks is actually pretty decent. My first impressions were that the suspension really didn't do too much, but in these moderate to light conditions, I think it actually is quite effective. Shocking! Woohoo! A solid hill climb test. We'll see how she does. As you can see, it's fairly steep, and it's long, and we're not giving it a very big runway. It isn't sport. She's holding 20 miles an hour. That's pretty impressive. Still holding. A little steeper. It says it'll deal with the 34, 37% grade. Not sure on this one here, but it's definitely up there. Probably 20. Ah, it did pretty good. Not too bad. Not too bad. And then here's where I think this thing is best suited.
This is Queen's University here in Kingston, and we are on campus. And I think that this thing is best suited for this type of environment. Busy. When classes let out around here, it's just like a metropolitan city, man. She's tight. Students everywhere. So short commutes, right? From one class to the next. Libraries, go over to the lab. It takes about 7 hours to charge. But all in all, it's a pretty handy little unit. Suspension works great. We're pretty impressed with it. Before I put this thing away, something I completely forgot to mention. Not only was it the weight capacity at 330 pounds, but they sent this pretty cool little bag, actually. And it's great for storage. And not only that, but they sent a spare inner tube with the extension to be able to get into the wheels nice and easy, right? Make it easy on yourself. But I thought that was kind of going the extra mile. Something else I really liked about this unit was you always get a tool pouch that's included. Here's our manual. But on this one, tool pouch literally consisted, so all there was for the assembly, as we had mentioned, I think before, was these four. They got, oh, there you go. 1, 2 on this side, and the opposing side there's 2 more. That's it. 4 screws is all it took. But for all the Allen keys on this thing, this is your tool pouch, which I thought was great. A little T-handle Allen key set here. 1 tool to carry is pretty darn convenient, really. You know what I mean? So cool. Ease of maintenance, you gotta like that. But yeah, the carry bag was a nice addition. Oh, along with the spare tube, right? So can't beat that. That's pretty kick-ass. We'll zip that up, and that pretty much concludes everything. I think we touched base on most things. And then the price point, you know what, I gotta look that up again, but I'm pretty sure it was about $12.99. And it was on sale. Well, we're gonna have to look that up. Don't quote me. I'll put her up here in the top corner, right there. That's how much. But yeah, decent little scooter, man. Pretty cool. Great for short commuting, right? But yeah, cheers.